Hi friends, welcome to this new video wherein today we'll learn how to populate a list box using an array. So let's get started. So on my screen you can see that I've already pulled up a solution in my Visual Studio. I have already designed the design view wherein you can see that I have a form which is titled list box from an array. There's a label titled shopping list. Border is set to fixed line and the content, the text is aligned at the center, and below that you can see that there is a list box whose name property is set to shopping items list box. So let's dive into the code, and what we want to essentially do is on the startup the list box should automatically populate with some shopping items. So going to the code view, I've already written the comment on the top which describes or gives you a basic insight on what the program does. So we'll demonstrate using data from an array to populate the list box. So since we want to achieve this at the startup, our entire code of this exercise will go into the form load event. So once we click start, the program will run and the contents of the load event will be populated to the list box. So let's first write a comment that we first want to declare and initialize our array. How do we do that? So first, since it is a list of items, it's characters, so it's a string array which will have some number of items in it. So first we initialize it as a string, and to initialize it as an array we just have to close these brackets. So the name of our array would be shopping items, and let's add values to it. So to do that, just open double quotes, add your values, for example bread, comma, let's add the second value milk, banana, eggs, and probably a bottle of shampoo. So once that is done, end the statement with semicolon, and you have declared and initialized your array. And now we want to load the items into the list box from this array. So the array which you have just declared has certain number of items and we want to load them into the list box. So to do that, let's iterate through the array, run a loop. So for that we'll use the for loop, and let's start from item 0 and let's go through the length of the array. So either you can count the number of items, like in this case it's 5, and put 5, but the better programming practice is to dynamically count the number of items in the array. So to do that, all you have to do is access the length property of your array. So our array is shopping items dot, there should be something called the length property here, and at the end of each iteration we'll just increment our counter, which in this case is I, by 1. So I++ will help us achieve that. So once the loop has entered into its first iteration, we want our list box to be updated by that item. So let's call our list box here, and we want to add an item, and let's add that item. Now in the parameters, let's specify what item we want to add, and we want to add the items from the shopping items list, shopping items, and it will be the ith element which we'll be adding to the list. End it by semicolon, and that's it. So save your program. Just a walkthrough again. You've declared your array called the shopping items. It's a string array because it has multiple strings in it, and then we'll run a loop from 0 to less than the length of the items, and then increment the iteration counter by 1 each time, and then we will add the item to the list box. So if the code is correct, you don't see any red squiggles in it, so let's run the program. So as you see on the startup, our list is populated with our array items: bread, milk, banana, egg, and shampoo. So that is how you populate your list box using an array items. Thank you.